We have the power to change the way that we talk to ourselves. Is there a goal that you have that maybe you're not putting any effort into right now? If I let that limiting belief stop me, then there's no way that I can accomplish that goal. 25 of my limiting beliefs and also the opposing empowering beliefs that are going to counteract them. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel and I'm happy to have you here. Let's go ahead and get into it. If you saw my last video, I talked about how in 2025 I am creating my dream life, and I broke it down into different categories: spiritual, mental, physical, and personal. And in the mental categories, I talked about limiting beliefs. So this video is going to be all about limiting beliefs. Why? Because I've identified a bunch of them since posting that last video. In all of those goals and all of those thoughts that I had and comments that I made about everything that I want to do in 2025, I had a limiting belief for every single one. I had thoughts that were coming up against the things that I set out to do, and I realized that that's gonna hold me back if I don't get those in check. On the one hand, I'm excited about the possibilities. I'm excited about doing something different so that I can get something different out of 2025. But on the flip side of that, I have this mental block because every time I think about a goal that I wanna do, I have a thought that comes against it and says, you can't do that. That's not gonna work. So this video is gonna be talking about what limiting beliefs are, how to identify them, and then how you can flip them from a limiting belief to an empowering belief that is going to set you up for success and not hinder your growth. So what are limiting beliefs? Let's start there. Well, simply put, limiting beliefs are thoughts that you have about yourself or others that stand in the way of you stepping into your fullest potential. Things like, I'm not good enough, I don't have what it takes, I don't deserve that, I don't have enough time, I'll never be successful, it couldn't be me. The list goes on. And if we leave them unchecked, they can have a significant negative impact on the way that we live our lives. We might count ourselves out of opportunities because we don't feel qualified, capable, or worthy. So where do limiting beliefs come from? They might come from some of your past experiences. So it could be some moments where maybe you experienced rejection or failure. They might come from comments that maybe people spoke over you throughout your life. Maybe they've even come from social media where you've compared yourself to people online, and from there you've gotten these thoughts that you speak over yourself against your own destiny. There are a number of ways that these beliefs can form. They might even be rooted in things like fear or self-doubt, overthinking, or even they can become excuses. So the goal of this video and the point of this is for me and you to identify our limiting beliefs and then instead replace them with empowering beliefs that aren't going to hold us back, but instead they're going to propel us forward. We ultimately want to have empowering beliefs that make us feel like we can accomplish and achieve our goals. The most basic way for me to identify my limiting beliefs were just simply to sit there and think about them. I would think about whatever goal that I had and then what thought immediately came to my mind right after it. An example, I want to have a successful YouTube channel. Well, too bad, because nobody cares what you have to say. That would be the thought that would immediately come in my mind, and that's the limiting belief. No one cares what I have to say. I would get discouraged about, okay, maybe I can't have this. Maybe a successful YouTube channel is not within my reach. If I take that limiting belief and I allow it to get in the way and stop me from even pursuing trying to do the channel, then I'll never have a successful YouTube channel. Because if I let that limiting belief stop me, then there's no way that I can accomplish that goal that I'm setting out to accomplish. So instead, I have to flip that and I have to look at it and say, my voice matters and can inspire others. You know, and this is not something that is necessarily super easy, especially when you've been speaking against yourself for so long. Changing your mind and changing the way that you think might not be the easiest task, but it probably is going to be one of the most rewarding. Just a simple mindset shift of no one cares what I have to say to my voice matters and can inspire others. If I allow myself to meditate on my voice matters, then I'll show up. I won't be shying away from it. And then the more that I show up, the closer I get to accomplishing the goal of having the successful channel. You see how that works? We have the power to change the way that we talk to ourselves. We have the power to change our thoughts. This doesn't mean that those limiting beliefs will go away for good. We might still have moments where we doubt, But instead, what this allows us to do is recognize when we're speaking against ourselves, when our mind is operating against the very thing that we're trying to do, and instead we can correct it and move forward. And it's almost like it's our brain's way of trying to protect us. In my YouTube example, it's almost like my brain, even though it's trying to protect me from maybe the embarrassment that could come or whatever it might be, it is still getting in the way. It's self-sabotage, honestly, because then I don't go after the thing that I desire to go after. I said in my last video that I want to get out of my comfort zone. I don't want to play small. I really just want to go after the things that I want to do. And if I want something different, I have to do something different. And that includes the way that I think. I have to recognize when I have a limiting belief that's trying to take me out, and I have to flip it to an empowering belief that's going to set me up for success. Another way to identify your limiting beliefs is to think about a goal that you have that you're not actively doing. Is there a goal that you have that maybe you're not putting any effort into right now? Ask yourself why. And most likely, the answer that you have to that question, it might be a limiting belief. And that's gonna do a pretty good job at keeping you from reaching your fullest potential. For example, one of your goals might be to write a book, but you haven't actually started writing it. So if I were to ask you, why have you not started writing the book? And your answer is, because no one's gonna read it, that's a limiting belief. So now you've done half the work. You've identified that limiting belief. So now we have to flip that into something that's gonna be more empowering for you, that's actually gonna prompt action. Instead of nobody's gonna read it, again, no one cares what I have to say, flip it into something more empowering and say something along the lines of, I have a unique perspective to offer through my writing, and the right people will read it. Okay, so in the journey that I'm on right now to create my dream life, I'm focusing specifically on spiritual, mental, physical, and personal or lifestyle related goals. I went a little bit more in detail on what some of those goals are and how I actually want to break them down in my last video, so if you're interested, go watch that one. But in this video, I'm going to share 25 of my limiting beliefs that I've identified, and also the opposing empowering beliefs that are going to counteract them. So as I go through them, you'll see that they're broken down under each of the categories, so I'll either put like a note or something on the screen maybe that will identify which ones go into which category. Hopefully, in hearing a portion of my limiting beliefs, you'll kind of get an idea of what they look like and then what it looks like to flip them into something that's more empowering, uplifting, motivating, and will push us further into creating our dream life in 2025. Maybe you have similar goals, and from there you might have similar limiting beliefs, or maybe you have completely different goals, different limiting beliefs. You can get an idea of how you can apply this practice of going from limiting beliefs to empowering beliefs in a way that makes sense for you and your specific goals. I wrote down a lot of my top limiting beliefs in whatever area that it looks like, whether it's spiritual, whether it's just the way that I think on a day-to-day basis, whether it relates to anything physical, so going to the gym or getting enough sleep. It's gonna get very specific. I wanted to make sure that all of the goals that I wrote out and that I talked about in my last video, whatever those goals are, I wanted them to be as specific as possible. Drinking water was one of my goals. So what are my limiting beliefs surrounding drinking water? I had goals about learning my style. What are my limiting beliefs about that? What are the underlying thoughts that I have that are speaking against anything I'm trying to do, no matter how small or how big those goals might seem? So I wrote down a bunch of limiting beliefs and I kind of filtered out some of my top ones for each category. From there, I used either Google or ChatGPT to come up with empowering beliefs that speak directly against what it is that I had as a limiting belief. So if you're gonna do this exercise, then those are two great resources to use to come up with, one, to give you ideas about what your limiting beliefs might be, but then two, to come up with empowering beliefs that speak against them. They'll help you come up with new ways to reframe your mindset and ultimately trash those limiting beliefs. All right, so let's jump into these limiting beliefs turned empowering beliefs. I'm gonna break these up into my 4 different categories. For the personal category, I'm just gonna focus on fashion and beauty, and then also surrounding YouTube. I'm gonna read through my limiting beliefs and then also the empowering beliefs so that you can get an idea of how you can change the way that you say the things that you say to yourself. First, I'm gonna start with the spiritual category. My dreams don't matter to God. God placed these dreams in my heart. They matter deeply to him. If I ask God for too much, I'm selfish or ungrateful. God delights in my bold prayers. He wants me to come to him freely and fully. I have to earn God's love through my actions. God's love is a gift, not a reward. I am fully loved as I am. I have to prove myself before God can use me. God qualifies the called. He chooses me before I ever have it all together. God won't use someone like me. God delights in using the unlikely. His power shines through my imperfections. Next, the mental or the mindset category. I don't have what it takes. Everything I need is already within me. I don't deserve a better life. I deserve a life filled with abundance, peace, and purpose. Who am I to dream that big? My dreams are planted in me for a reason. I am meant to pursue them. It's not meant for me. If I can imagine it, it's meant for me, and I'm ready to receive it. I can't afford to create the life I want. Resources flow to me as I align with my purpose. Next is the physical category. I don't have enough time to work out regularly. Even 10 minutes of movement matters. Consistency builds results, not perfection. I'm too busy to keep up with drinking water all day. Hydration fuels my focus and my energy. Making time for it supports everything else I do. I'm just a night owl. That's how I function. I can gently retrain my body to love rest. Better sleep supports every area of my life. I'm lazy if I sleep more than 6 hours. Rest is productive. My body restores, my mind resets, and my spirit is refreshed. I don't have enough motivation to keep this going. I don't wait for motivation. I build momentum through small, doable steps. And the last category is the personal category. So I'm gonna start with fashion and beauty, and then I'm gonna roll into the YouTube subcategory. I'm not stylish enough to pull that off. Style is about self-expression. If I feel good in it, I already pulled it off. I have to look perfect or people will judge me. My authenticity is more powerful than perfection. People connect with the real me. I'm not good at makeup, so why bother? Makeup is a skill. The more I practice, the more fun and freeing it becomes. Letting go of clothes feels like a waste of money. Holding on to what I don't use costs me more. Clearing space is a gift to my peace and style. I should be grateful for what I have. Decluttering feels ungrateful. I can honor every item's purpose and still choose to do it with gratitude. No one will watch my content. The right people are looking for exactly what I have to say. I just need to show up. I need to have everything figured out first. Clarity comes through action. I don't need all the answers to start. Editing is too complicated. I'll never figure it out. Everything is learnable. With patience and practice, I get better each time. I'd probably embarrass myself if I tried. Trying is brave. Even if I stumble, I'm learning, growing, and becoming. Embarrassment doesn't define me. Boldness does. What if I run out of ideas and lose momentum? Inspiration is limitless. It flows when I create space for it. Okay, and I have one little extra bonus one for a little razzle dazzle, number 26. And the reason I'm throwing it in here is because it applied to mine today. It applied to this video right here. I don't know enough to share or teach. But then the flip side, the empowering is I'm allowed to be a student and a sharer at the same time. So there you are, all 25 or 26 for the bonus of my limiting beliefs. And that was only a small fraction of the ones that I actually wrote down. Trust me, I had a bunch. But that's all right, because I was able to identify all of the ones in whatever area of my life that looks like. There are so many different things that I want to do, so many different ideas that come in my mind, but I shut them down every single time because I have these limiting beliefs that have gone unchecked for way too long. These are some of the things that are specific to me, but feel free to use that as a template and kind of get an idea of how it might work for you when you identify your limiting beliefs, and then also come up with your empowering beliefs that speak against those things that are trying to speak against you. For me, the next step is going to be compiling all of the empowering beliefs and then printing them out so that I can easily see them and access them on my day-to-day. And then from there, speaking them over my life every single day, even being proactive, not waiting for the limiting belief to come up, but instead every single day, especially in the morning, speak all of these empowering beliefs over me. So that way I know that all of these goals that I have set out, I can achieve. Because if I just change the way that I say it, if I just change the way that I talk to myself, I'll be that much closer to creating the dream life that I've always wanted. Or if I have a moment where the limiting belief comes up throughout the day, I'll already have the empowering belief that can speak against it quickly. All right, y'all, so that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you were able to at least take something from it. Maybe it'll allow you to do your own self-reflection and think about, what are the goals that I have? What is it that I want to accomplish, whether it's in 2025 or beyond? What goals do you have? Are you actively working on them? And if not, Why? Are there limiting beliefs that are holding you back? Write them down and then use some of those resources to come up with empowering beliefs that speak against those limiting beliefs. This year is all about going for what it is that is yours. Whatever it is that you want to do, you can do it. Whatever goal that you have, whatever dream that you might have, it's time for us to go after these things. And we're not going to be able to do that if we let these limiting beliefs get the best of us, okay? And this will help you get out of your own way. It's going to help you level up and ultimately create your dream life too. Listen, we in this together. Alrighty, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.